Vice President J.D. Vance jumped to the defense of RFK Jr., posting on X, quote, "When I see all these senators trying to lecture and gotcha Bobby Kennedy today, all I can think is you all support off-label, untested, and irreversible hormonal therapies for children, mutilating our kids and enriching big pharma. You're full of bleep, and everyone knows it."
With more reaction on the MAHA resistance, we're joined by the food babe, Vani Hari. Vani, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a great day.
Okay, so no argument, public health officials abused their power, especially during COVID. And as the vice president pointed out, also these gender obsessions definitely needs a new direction. I think people are concerned about the RFK Jr.'s stance on vaccines. I am too. But your portfolio focusing on food, you have been an influence, I think it's fair to say, on RFK Jr. and going after various food additives and dyes. My question is, should the consumer be deciding these kinds of questions? And if they were really so harmful, when Bobby Kennedy was a lawyer suing companies for alleged environmental harms, wouldn't he have been able to drive them from the market?
Yeah, one of the cases that Bobby Kennedy took on was Monsanto, that's now owned by Bayer. And they make glyphosate, and they've been implicated on case after case after his landmark case that awarded a plaintiff billions of dollars that shows that glyphosate causes cancer. So he's been fighting for the removal of these chemicals that affect our bodies from our food supply for a long time. And that's why he took the voice of mothers like me and my activism on asking these food companies that don't use these artificial food dyes in other countries to take them out here in the United States. It's hypocritical, it's unethical that food companies could, because of profit, continue to poison us here in America when they know how to make their products without these artificial food dyes that do have risks to children and have cancer risks. And so this is something that thankfully the FDA, along with Secretary Kennedy, has made a prominent feature of the MAHA movement. But the reason why they did it is because it is low-hanging fruit and it's a fast, quick win. And they've already gotten close to 50% of the food companies to voluntarily remove artificial food dyes, whereas the majority of them are going to have to, because Secretary Kennedy's leadership has spawned incredible grassroots and state level movements where West Virginia, for example, has banned artificial food dyes. And in just a year and a half, you will not be allowed to use that there. And in Texas, they enacted a warning label system that basically would put a warning label on over 40 different chemicals if you use them in that state. And that, that's the second largest economy. That's the biggest food bill of its kind. And Secretary Kennedy was just in Texas last week with Governor Abbott signing that bill. It was absolutely incredible. Food is medicine, and we are facing a chronic disease epidemic in this country. As you heard during the hearing, RFK said 46% of us have a chronic disease in this country. 38% of our preteens have some kind of pre-diabetes. That's unacceptable. We have to change this trajectory. And unfortunately, the senators and the elected officials at that hearing today missed the boat and are completely out of touch with what Americans want.
Vani, I want to ask you about your incredible following on social media. We've only got about 20 seconds left, but millions of people follow you for your information about what's in food, the quality of food. Why do you think that is? Why do they turn to you? Are they able to get that information elsewhere?
Well, for a long time, nobody was telling the truth. Nobody was telling you what exactly you were eating. When, I looked into a Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, you couldn't find the ingredients online. You couldn't call them and they wouldn't tell you. It was investigators like me early on that quizzed local chains and had bottles shown to me where I'd take pictures of all the different concoctions they would do to make these products and show them to my readers and investigate this for my readers. And so that's why people trust me.
Vani Hari, 2.3 million followers. I just double checked. You can find her on Instagram. Lots of good content, Vani. Thank you so much. Hope you'll come back and see us really soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.